Namaste, world raisers. So, Hinduism is on the brink of a resurgence in the sense of the collective unity and whole of the younger generation is really about to begin diving into the ancient wisdom, the spiritual teachings on another level, right? And then that's going to transform the world, right? Hinduism is the greatest opportunity in the world right now to raise the collective vibration, because it's very, very important. And I've been getting a lot of feedback on my videos, stating the facts that it's only really about 10% of Hindus in general that are taking the time. And it's due to, social factors and then, and also priorities within the older generations. It was a lot of parents just directing the youth to not waste their times on studying the scriptures, and then just go to the temple, pray, make offerings, and then that's it, and then that's all you need to do, and then you're good enough. But at the same time, really dog eat dog mentality, and then you can still see it prevalent that a lot of people, they don't really care about others, right? But once the youth dives into the teachings and then understands and then seeking the highest truth, that, oh, wait a minute, oh, we're all one. So to do good to others is also doing good to myself, because we're a collective field, we're a collective consciousness, we're intertwined, we're interconnected, we're all one family. And to really start living that way and appreciating that interconnectedness, it's going to be amazing. So then it's going to be a shift and a transformation. It's going to be people going to the temple and respecting one another in lineup, for example, instead of just trying to butt in line and cut in front of people, pushing and shoving, which, it's not good. It's like, because we're all together. We're all going to see the deity and do darshan together, and that's the connection that needs to happen amongst the people, right? So a new love and a new appreciation for each other will come about, and then people will find their way and their niche and their purpose within that, because there's so many great purposes that are possible that could provide, abundance and a good life for people who pursue them, right? So it just takes a higher level of insight and inspiration, which is possible by accessing the higher levels, meditation, contemplation, prayer, which comes about from understanding the higher teachings, because then there's a seeking for that. And then as that happens, greater inspiration will flow into the world, and then India in general could be totally, transformed, even more so. And there's a lot of places that are already undergoing that transformation, really cleaned up, beautiful, polite. So vibrating at a higher, more all-inclusive level of consciousness. And then also what's going to happen is that the younger generation is really going to start letting go of this whole caste system and discrimination. Because right now it's almost like, Indians are bringing their culture, to the West, and they're not really, adapting or assimilating into the new culture as much as it was in the past, where if foreigners were immigrating to a new country, there was really strict immigration rules back in the day, where people had to be assimilated and they had to learn the culture and the customs and learn all about it, and then appropriate behavior. And then it was a real long, drawn-out process, which is why nowadays, where Western countries are just letting anybody in, and then nobody has to adopt, they're really bringing their mindset and their culture into these new countries, and then that's bound to cause chaos. So with the younger generation becoming more spiritual, seeking the truth, raising their collective consciousness, that raises the whole field, and then that affects people in unseen ways. That's just how it happens. It's, proven through consciousness calibration research that somebody at a very high level of consciousness counterbalances the whole field, right? So you have the avatars, the really, really high enlightened beings. Yes, Jesus was one of them. Of course, the Buddha, and of course, Sri Krishna. And there's many, many more. Mystics, sages, yogis at very high levels. Yeah, somebody at the level of Jesus or Buddha or Krishna, yeah, they would counterbalance the negativity of all of mankind. It's incredible. So, and people just at the level of unconditional love, yeah, they'll counterbalance so many people in the lower levels, right? So a higher level of consciousness, frequency, vibration, and we're in the interconnected field of human consciousness. Yeah, it counterbalances the lower levels because, and this is, proving the idea that a positive, loving intention and thought is way, way more powerful than the negativity, right? So to hold positivity in mind, to pray for the world, to om for the world, to wish the best for others, to care for others, to genuinely pray for the well-being and welfare of others, and yourself. Self-care is hugely important as well. We got to have self-love, self-compassion, self-forgiveness, because we're on a roller coaster ride of going through the resolution of negative karma, right? So there's going to be things that come up that are going to cause suffering. We got to take that on. We got to own that. We got to be like, okay, this is my negative karma. I'm not going to create more negative karma by revenge and hating, somebody who supposedly did bad to you, right? Somebody who, betrayed you, stole from you, lied to you, cheated on you. Whatever the case may be, there's going to be negative circumstances arising. And we got to see that for what it is. As spiritual beings, we got to see it as all just a big dream. It's a play. It's an illusion. It's a manifestation of the one infinite source of everything, manifesting as all forms. And everything is perfect. If we have a high intention to seek liberation and truth, then when negativities arise, we got to take it on as an opportunity. Yeah, the greatest opportunity to transcend the lower levels and then really get into the higher states. And I'm telling you, yeah, that's where we got to be. So, and it's a process. It could take time. You really got to work on it. Negativity is pervasive and it's lingering and it wants to keep coming back, and then especially through habits, right? If you get into laziness or depression and you're not doing anything to counteract these negativities, and then shame and blame and guilt and like really self-deprecating thoughts, hating oneself, yeah, that's a habit, and the mind loves it. The ego loves the juice it gets from being the victim. So, yeah, ultimately, yeah, the inner struggle, the inner journey. So, for India and Hinduism, yeah, once this resurgence starts at an unprecedented level, because I don't think the full blossoming of Hinduism in the highest teachings, it's been kept from the people for so long, and then people haven't dived into the real, the depths of it on a collective, level of like millions of people at the same time. So which is really cool about the Maha Kumbh Mela. You had like 450 million people or more, seeking this cleanse, right? This process of cleansing the body and mind for the purposes of hopefully attaining moksha at the end of this lifetime. And yeah, so you just have that intention. So if you have that intention, that's the first step. Yeah, and then focus on purifying the negativities, the defilements, dive into the highest teachings, incorporate that, and then practice in daily life. So if we can do that collectively, and with the Hindu resurgence of really studying the highest texts, and then more so than just, yeah, of course, there's some great wisdom in the Mahabharata and Ramayana, and it's very dear to the hearts of many, many, many Hindus, Indians. But yeah, but there's higher wisdom more so. Yeah, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Vedas. So any Hindu YouTube channels that are spreading this truth, yeah, it's amazing, right? And then people are going to slowly flock to these in droves, right? Because the age of, doom scrolling and entertainment, yeah, it needs to be let go of for a more spiritual attainment and inner seeking on a global scale. It's amazing. I look forward to it. So I hope you guys do as well. I hope you're with me for the ride, and then we'll be checking it all out as the world evolves. So thank you so much. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Is there a global Hinduism resurgence? Let's talk about it. Comment section. So I wish you the best. Pray for you. I hope you're well on your way. Let me know what you think. Peace.